Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Zoom Q&A. We are thrilled to have everyone on board, all in CIOGC. My name is Simone Khalil, and I'm an intern at CIOGC, and I will be taking you through this presentation today. With me today is intern Aboud Armouti and Sister Sabina Abdul Qadir, our board of director here at CIOGC. You're on mute.
Sabina, you're on mute.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. So great to have all of you here. So grateful also for the staff and interns at CIGC who put this together. Aboud, why don't you say hi so people can recognize you? And do we have any other interns on board? Okay, go ahead and say hi so people can see you.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. I'll also be taking you through the presentation, and thank you all for joining. It's good to see all your faces because I'm usually just, looking at the website names of everybody who registered, but seeing everybody now is pretty cool.
And we will take questions at the end of this presentation. Shouldn't be too long. You can go to the next, okay. So this is the timeline. So in this presentation, we will be taking you through weekly submission and expectations of this year's Social Justice Service Challenge 2021. But don't worry if someone from your team could not make it today. We will be putting up a recording by tomorrow on our YouTube channel, inshallah. This is why we are hosting the challenge.
The world is a troubling place right now, and many of us feel powerless to combat the injustices committed both around the world and within our own communities. However, that is far from true. Thousands of years ago, during a time of injustice and strife, the emergence of Islam brought light to a world mired in ignorance. As the Prophet ﷺ said, "Whosoever of you sees an evil action, let him change it with his hand. And if he is not able to do so, then with his tongue. And if he is not able to do so, then with his heart. And that is the weakest of faith." Thus, it's the responsibility of us Muslims as an ummah to create change when we see injustice in the world. In this spirit, CIOGC is kicking off the Service Challenge, where you work with your masjid's community to design a social justice service project to address the needs of the Chicagoland area. All you need is an idea, an initiative to make change in your community. And CIOGC will grant you $1,000 to make your idea a reality. Your project can address any social issue, from economic and racial injustice to food and health issues, bullying and religious prejudice. Show us the impact you have as a masjid. Get creative. The winners of the project will be rewarded with a grand cash prize of $5,000 from Zakat Chicago, a feature in CIOGC's newsletter with over 10,000 subscribers, and the bragging rights and accomplishment of being the winner of the CIOGC Service Challenge. So get up and get excited. If you're ready for change, go to CIOGC.org.
So as you know, this challenge is about highlighting social injustices and what we can do to overcome and educate our community. And it all starts with a $1,000 grant on registration that your team can use for your social justice project. And in addition to that, the winning masjid gets a grand prize of $5,000. And then our community will pick the final winner after a period of voting. But inshallah, we'll dive a little bit deeper into that in a bit. Okay, so this slide is very important. You can even take a screenshot of it if you like. The best way to find any information related to the challenge is through our website. So Abood is going to take you guys to the website. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, so this is the service challenge page. Over here, you can find the timeline of all the deadlines and dates for events that will be happening, which we will also be covering later on in the presentation, as well as the contest rules. If you click this button, you can download a PDF of the rules. If you click this button, you can get a more concise PDF of a guide to the timeline. And these tabs are as well. You can learn more about here and submit here. And here are some FAQs. Registration kind of passed already, but
Go a little slower. So just download the timeline really quick. Like click on that button. Yeah, so if you just slowly scroll through this, that's where you can find the timeline.
And details about what your project needs to be, what the submissions need to look like. So that's all in here. And if you go on the main page, you should be able to find us also on the tab where you see our work. If you want to click on that, Abood, just like that might be easy.
yeah. So you could always just click on this tab to get to the Social Justice Service Challenge page, but if it passes by you, you go to our work, click CIOG Social Justice Service Challenge. All right.
Okay, so you can also contact your designated intern or email us at contest@ciogc.org. We will keep you up to date with our weekly e-postcard or newsletters reminding you about your weekly submissions and updates related to the challenge.
So if you have not received a postcard from CIGC that says, you know, this is the challenge, join us for the Q&A, you should get an email postcard. What we call a postcard is like an email that's just going out to the participants. You should get them every Monday, letting you know what's coming up, what should be done. So you should have gotten one already. If you have not, please put something in the group chat and we will ensure that you get the information that's going out to all the challenge participants. Is there anyone here that hasn't gotten it? It should go in, it should be in the email. It usually goes to the project lead and it's the email that you gave us when you registered for the challenge. Okay.
Okay, next. Yeah, so know your intern. So give me 1 second.
So what we've done is we've assigned interns to all of you, all the participants. So I'm going to answer this question really quickly. Email comes to which ID? It comes to the ID that you registered with. So whatever that ID is should be there. And if you want it to a certain one, just put this in our chat, please. And then we will make sure to add that email to our listserv so that you get those things. So what we're going back now is interns. So what we've done is we've divided each of the masjids into groups, and each intern has about 5 or 6 masjids or organizations that are part of. And this person is going to be sort of your navigator throughout the challenge. So if you have any hiccups, if you have any questions, if you, if you need a little help, and they're here to do stuff and help you out. So right now what you see is Simone. Simone's masjids are Dar es Sunnah Evanston, Abraham Bahar Center, Islamic Foundation Villa Park, Orland Park, and Masjid Rahma. And if you can take a picture, if you're part of this masjid, take a picture because you have Simone's email as well as her phone number here. So your interns are a really quick, easy way. And knowing that these guys are interns, that probably the best way to contact them is through a text and an email, and they should be able to get to you within the day and with a response.
And all the interns' contact information will be on the slides. So like Sister Sabina said, if you want to take a photo of this right now, that would be pretty helpful for you. So moving along, we have Sister Senna, who has Al-Aqsa Community Center, Haske Rasulullah, Islamic Foundation North, Muslim Association of Bolingbrook, and Mohsen.
Yes, and my phone number my cell number is on there, as well as my email address. Please feel free to email me, call me, text me. I will be in touch with you regularly on a daily basis. If you have any questions, please call me or text me anytime. I'm more than happy to help you.
Next, we have Brother Sufyan. He is in charge of Islamic Center of Wheaton, Islamic Society Midwest, Islamic Society of Greater Springfield, AMPO, Beit al-Ilm, and Masjid al-Ihsan. We also have Brother Qasim, who has Muslim Community Center, Muslim Educational and Cultural Center of America, Nigerian Islamic Association, Downtown Islamic Center, and Chicago Muslims Green Team, Light of Islam, and Ohala Foundation. Finally, there's myself. I usually do website work, but I am also in charge of Islamic Center of Naperville and Ummah. That is also my cell number, and you can feel free to contact me at my school email.
Again, we just want to remind you that this will be probably on our YouTube page, but also we're going to try to look it up to our website. But the interns will be also contacting you. So save their number. They'll reintroduce themselves to you and say, hey, this is my name, and just save their number so that you can use them throughout the challenge.
All right, so next we're going to be covering what the Masajid have to do for the challenge. This will include deadlines and event dates. This information is a little more crucial, so if you want to take a screenshot of this at any time, feel free. So submission 1, the deadline is July 30th, this upcoming Friday. We ask that you send us 3 facts or statistics related to your project in the form of graphic, PDF, presentation, or Word document. It's especially necessary that when you do send this in, you have citations and links to the sources that you used. And I'll show you an example of this. But really quickly, before I do that, I just want to remind you the deadline is July 30th. I update the website every week for when a new submission is up. You'll see that upcoming submission 2 and 3. And if you don't have it in time, always feel free to email contest@ciogc.org. That'll be on the slides later on, and you can get your submission in that way. So here's an example of the first submission. This is a food insecurity infographic. As you can see at the bottom of the infographic, captioned is a source. And I just want to reiterate that it must include at least 3 facts. And the idea is to do your own research, but if you can't create your own infographic, you can send us in a Word document of just the 3 facts listed, as well as links to your sources. Please don't just send us sources because, we want to make sure exactly what you have on your document is exactly what the facts that you want to submit. So just send us those 3 facts on a document, include the links to your sources, and you can move on in the challenge from there.
So what I'd like to reiterate is the interns are here to help you. So find the facts, like if you're working on food insecurity, and the more specific it is to Chicago or Illinois or anything, something that you want to share and what motivated you to tackle that social injustice. Those are some of the things that you want to say, there's a fact that 10% of the Chicago population is food insecure. I'm just making that up. So if you have that fact and you have a source cited, you can let the intern know, and the interns can help you make a graphic. But if you can do it yourself, more power to you. We'd like to see that. We'd love to see creativity and you present things in the way that you think is best.
So moving along to submission 2, the deadline will be August 6th. This is just, as the title says, a behind the scenes vlog. It's filled vertically. It's around 30 seconds minimum. If you go over that by a little bit, that's perfectly fine. So you just want to share it on social media and tag us on any one of the mediums that you see over here. Or you could always submit it at ciogc.org/SJSC, which is Social Justice Service Challenge. It's the website that we showed you just a little earlier. If you recall, there was a submission 1 button on there next to the download timeline. And as I stated previously, that will be updated every week. So for example, by next Monday morning, that button will say submission 2 instead of submission 1. And we have also an example for this on the next slide. As you can see in this, it's really easy for this step because you could really just get all of your members in a Zoom meeting and press record as these people did.
I feel like this project should achieve some sort of conversation, and I know a lot of people, they try to avoid this kind of subject because it's uncomfortable, but in order to be comfortable, you have to face the uncomfortable. So just by having people talk for like 2 to 3 minutes and share, you know, a really impactful statement of how they overcame it or how they faced, you know, prejudice.
So yeah, I mean, they went above and beyond and did a minute, but like I said, 30 seconds would be just fine. And if you don't want to do a Zoom meeting like that, here's a couple of examples of things you could do instead, which is like picking a member of your community to talk about the project. The possibilities are limitless. As long as you keep your video 30 seconds and you film it vertically, you should be just fine.
You know, if you don't get it into 30 seconds, we like to keep the interest because we share your work. Part of our goal at CIGC is to showcase how wonderful our community is and all the great work that they're doing. So the reason we ask for a short time frame is so that the community, there's an interest and it's peaked and it's retained. So we don't want it too long, but if you need a little bit more than 30 seconds, that's okay. Some people have given us 40 seconds, even up to a minute, and that's okay. Just make sure it's vertically filmed and that you have and you tag us. And what we do is when we tag you on social media or when we share your stuff and we will tag you, we would like you to repost it or reshare it. And that's a good way for the community because we want to make sure that the community is engaged to see not just what you're doing, what other masjids are doing. We want to build community pride in the Chicago Muslim community. So we want to make sure that everyone gets hyped up for this challenge and all the great work that all of you are doing.
Okay, and the final project will be due on August 13th. So this is the big one, really. This is the one where you get hype, you get creative. We'll show you a couple of examples of what that looks like in a little bit. I just want to stress that CIOGC will not be able to accept submissions without a budget template. And what I mean by that is you can send them in, but you won't be eligible for the grand prize of $5,000. This is just so that we can maintain integrity of the zakat money that we are providing. And a couple guidelines are that we keep it filmed horizontally and keep your final submission within 2 minutes. Like I said, just keep it hype and get creative. Again, the reason for the 2 minutes is because we want to keep you all engaged. We want to see what great work you will be able to accomplish. And the 2 minutes is just so that the voting process goes on smoothly. Here's an example of a budget template. If you guys want to screenshot this, that is perfectly acceptable. Expenses, details, and costs, something simple like this will do. Here's another example of that. And here is a link to the PDF of this budget template.
We will
Just so you-
also try to post this on the website during the final week, but it's just important that you have a detailed account of how you spent the $1,000. So it's linked here, but we'll also try to put it on the website. You can always ask your intern for it. These are the things that they're there for. So please make sure that you use the services we are able to provide for you.
Here's an example from last year. This is 2020's winner, AMCO.
Oh, we can't see it, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm getting to the good part.
Okay.
To faith partners in raising and tending the garden. The produce will be distributed to the hungry and the needy through Crystal Lake Food Pantry and the Rohingya Center. We are going to chronicle the evolution and progression of this challenge project in this video. In putting together a team, Brother Jamil Aze chose 3 of AMCO's committees to take ownership of the service challenge: Interfaith Committee, School and Food Pantry. Next, the objectives and goals were defined. The composition of the team was determined, as AMCO believes that service to the society at large should be a habit of each and everyone rather than a once-in-a-while pursuit. The team determined that a project that brings our community together with other communities in the service of humanity will be very apt. We will not only be able to build bridges of understanding, but also learn about the humaneness as understood and practiced by each other.
So that community actually came together through a food project. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sister Sabina, as you could see by that garden that they planted, which still contributes for them to this day.
So
And
yeah,
they,
give me
sorry,
a
go ahead.
background on this. So they used the $1,000 to plant. They were already thinking about doing this, but the $1,000 was just an impetus for them to get started and start planting these beds. They worked with another interfaith organization or church, and they had a schedule, because this was during COVID. They had a schedule where all these people that you see these pictures and names of would come and schedule watering and tending to that garden. And eventually they had a harvest. So the first tomatoes sold for, I think, $50. The first basket of produce sold for $300. So they auctioned it off. And the money that they collected, they gave to the Rohingya Cultural Center and the food pantry so that it could be reused. Then what happened is when they won the $5,000 prize, they used that money to reinvest in it. So again, with COVID and the cold air, so since the masjid was closed, they built a greenhouse within the masjid with saplings and plants and produce. And we have pictures, but it's somewhere. But then they made, again, gift baskets during Ramadan that were auctioned off. And that money was used to do more service projects. Like they worked with Shy Care to provide for homeless and stuff. So it's an ongoing sustainable project. And I think that was one of the reasons it was chosen to be the winner, is because it had sustainability, it was creative, it worked with an interfaith element, it got their community excited. So these are all the things, and they'll talk a little bit more about the criteria down the line, but that was what the reason the judges had chosen this project. And we'll tell you what the voting and the whole process of how the winner is chosen looks like a little bit later down the line.
So that was an example of a video that you could quickly put together. This next example is a little more cinematically sophisticated, I would say.
Did you know that 30% of adults in Chicago have low literacy skills, and that more than 60% of low-income households in Chicago do not own any children's books? This low literacy rate limits the ability of many children and adults to pursue the academic, social, and economic opportunities that their peers do. To combat this social problem, our community has taken the initiative to establish Books on the Block, a program designed to promote literacy in the inner city of Chicago. We are establishing a free little library that will be located on the south side of Chicago, which will allow people in this vibrant but often underserved community to access free, diverse books.
And here are some other examples we have.
Can we just finish this up a little bit? I want them to see the actual project. So where
Yeah.
the kids come in, can you move it up a little? So here, there we go.
Here's us painting our custom library.
So this is how they use their funds.
Our last step was to plan our opening day and invite our community members. We had custom tote bags and stickers ready for our event.
So they use the money to stock the library with books. And this is what it looked like. And so, I mean, go ahead and continue. I just wanted them to see how the money was used.
Okay. So yeah, this next example, this is really what, I mean, this just shows how simple it can be, really. You could just get your community members to step in front of a camera and talk about what you guys did. But if you are feeling creative, we would love to see some of the amazing videos you guys submit.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Khizr.
I'm Maha.
I'm Abdullah. And I'm Tariq. And we are the youth members of the Islamic Society of the Northwest Suburbs, ISNS. Huge shout out to CIOGC for hosting this social justice challenge. We are grateful for this opportunity to use the funds provided to work on our project. For our project, we chose to focus on education. It is a fact that to improve someone's life, he or she needs to have access to a quality education. Historically and presently speaking, African American children are not provided with a quality education opportunity both in and out of school that white American kids in more privileged school districts can afford. For example, many school districts with higher percentages of Black students often don't have the same course rigor availability and support as majority white schools. With COVID-19 causing several elementary, middle, and high school districts to go online, we recognize that now is more than ever the time.
I just wanted to show you guys
are going to college.
that, yeah, it's like that throughout the whole video. The video isn't necessarily everything. You could still win the grand prize if your project is outstanding. We'll show you the rubric on that later.
Yeah, I want to just say, like, you don't
You can
focus.
keep.
Just the video is just a showcasing of your project. You can make it as complicated or as elaborate and creative as you want, or as simple. It's just how it is. We really focus, and that's why, answering the questions when you have submissions, we'll ask some questions and stuff. And if we call you back or your intern texts you and say, can you elaborate exactly as to what you did with your project? It's important that you answer them because we're focused on the project. We understand that most of us, I barely know how to hold my iPhone camera straight and get things done. So we understand that there's a varying ability. So you don't have to do that. Some of the organizations did a very small amount of their budget. Like, I think Tawheed, their video was very nice and well put together because they had somebody in their community that did it for them. And they didn't have to give them like much of a budget or anything like that. So focus on the project. The project is going to win for you, but the video is a great way for the community to vote for you. So if you keep it interesting, and the community will go and vote for you. But also another way to do it, and which is really simple and easy, is to get your own community hyped up and say, hey, go vote for us, go look at the other projects, but go vote for us when the voting starts. And we'll talk a little bit more about that once we get to it.
So you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, so
Okay, awesome.
Sorry, you were saying?
No, it's okay. This is just another example. We're not going to show it to you, You can look at it on YouTube if you want. It's just a bunch of pictures. You could also document your final project with just pictures and music. It all just depends on what is easier for you. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Mhm.
And again, the interns are your resource and they will be able to help you with this. So like they had just sent pictures and put a video together and they looked, they had the intern just look it over to make sure it met the requirements and then they submitted it. So it's very easy.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna be talking really quick about community voting. Sister Sabina has done an amazing job already highlighting everything. It's gonna be between August 16th to August 20th. We'll give you way more information about it a little later. As she was saying, the grand prize winner will be voted on by the Chicagoland community. So this includes, so basically how it'll go is that August 16th through the 20th on social media, we'll be posting 4 or 5 videos at a time. And then at the end of the week, we will be voting on it. Do you want to go a little bit more into this, Sister Sabina, or do you think that?
Let me go into this a little bit more.
Okay.
So voting starts on Monday, August 16th. And what we will do is all the participants will be randomly, we'll decide how to divide them. So instead of releasing all 25 or 30 videos in one day, what we do is we do like 4 to 5 videos a day. So the community really has time to look at these videos. And that's why we ask you to keep it at the 2-minute mark, because we just want them to really quickly spend 10 minutes looking at each of the 5 videos and just kind of going and voting on their favorite. So that's one of those things. We do not tell you ahead of time what day you're going to be being posted. Like Monday will be a group, Tuesday will be a group, Wednesday will be a group, Thursday will be. The reason we don't do that is because we want everyone to get a chance, because some communities have a big social media following and they can just tell their community, hey, just go on Tuesday and vote for us. But what we want to do is to really highlight the good work all of you that are participating that are doing. So what we want to show is, so every day when we release 5, people have 10 minutes in the evening, they'll go, they'll check, they'll vote on their favorite one. So every day you go in. So what happens is from midnight to midnight, so like it starts like 12:01 on Sunday night, we'll open the voting, and then at 12 o'clock on Monday evening is when it'll close for the first group, and then it'll start again for the next group from 12:01. So everyone gets a 24-hour time period to be voted on. And so the top vote getters will then be submitted to a panel of judges who will pick the winner from the top vote getters. So it's a combination of what the community wants, as well as what the judges decide. And we'll show you what that criteria looks like in a minute. And then whoever wins will get a $5,000 grand prize, and that grand prize money must be applied to your social justice initiative. And then we ask you that please follow up with us, letting us know how you spent that money. And that's about it. So can we, that's why I have so much information about AMCO, the one that won last year with the garden. So they gave us all that information along with pictures and what they did with the money. Okay.
Yeah, so the next slide is basically what you just said, the voting process.
So so you go ahead and talk about, they can vote as many times as they want in a day.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so basically, as the marketing intern with CAGC, what's going to happen is every single day, we're going to be posting 4 or 5 videos, and they're going to be random. And then you can vote for your video or any video as many times as you want. So per day, you can vote for as many times as you want on one video. And then CIOGC will only release like 4 to 5 videos a day to ensure that it's fair competition. And then further instructions on the voting process will be available soon. But as she was saying, the easiest way is just text your intern or contact your intern with the information that was on their slide.
Yeah, and you can get your community hyped up. Like we suggest you let the community know, hey, we're participating in this social justice challenge. Make sure you go and vote for us. So not just like the week of voting, but maybe a couple of days before, just letting them know, putting it in your WhatsApp group. Hey, go on to CIGC, check if we're up, and if we're up, or any other videos. So just go ahead and vote. Pick your favorite ones. And of course, we want you to vote for ours, but go ahead and vote for other ones. So every day, like we said, the most popular ones for the day will be compiled, sent to a panel of judges, and among those, the judges will pick the winner. And we'll answer
Yeah.
questions at the end. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but we'll answer them. We just want to finish this before we open it up to questions. Go ahead.
So the next slide is the voting rubric. So really quick, the 4 categories are creativity, community impact, budget spending, and timeliness. How your project, your final project, will be critiqued on. The link to the budget template is also there as well.
So if you look at this, this is what the panel of judges will use. They'll use creativity, community impact, includes sustainability, how you spent the money, how, you know, is it a return on investment? If we give you $5,000, can you expand that project? Those are the kind of things we look at. And then timeliness is like, hey, you know, were you turning things on time? That's not a huge component. More sustainability is a big component. Creativity is a big component. What kind of community impact you had? If you had an event and it garnered a lot of impact and a lot of interest and showcased what was going on and your community was educated, that's great. You know, we want that. We had a lot last year about voting. A lot of the masjids organizations use voting to educate their community about voting and stuff like that. So that's great. You know, we're ready to see how you can amp it up. Those are the things that the judges look for. Okay.
Yeah, so then the next slide is about the live award ceremony that will be on August 21st. Get excited. It's probably my favorite event of this whole challenge from last year. It will be held over Zoom and live streamed to YouTube. It's basically a ceremony on Zoom that will just celebrate the challenges and accomplishments of all the masajid. And then the finalists will be announced live. So get excited for that.
So just so you have a little context, it's going to be context as to how this is. The live ceremony that we did last year is posted on YouTube. It's Oscar style. So it's not just, you know, so it's an Oscar style, the nominees are, and then we ask that all of you be there, and then we'll ask you some questions like, and we have different categories that we award. So it's not just one grand prize winner, but different categories that we award for. It's likely to be, and we wanted to get a little feedback from you, August 21st, which is a Saturday. We were thinking about doing it at 11 o'clock in the morning. And it's usually a half an hour to 45-minute program. It's not more than that. Last year, it was just about half an hour. And so this is what usually happens with this live ceremony. So it's really exciting. It's a lot of fun. Last year's stuff is on YouTube. I think the masjids enjoy. It's just giving everyone who worked so hard a shout out, letting the community celebrate all the great masjids that are there. So we want you to keep that time slot open. I know we didn't put August 21st at 11 a.m., but that's what we're thinking, unless you guys think a better time. But I think 11 a.m. is great, and we'll be done within half an hour, 40 minutes. And that's how last year's was done too. Okay, next.
And now the next, just going more into the timeline. So this Friday, July 30th, the submission of facts and stats is due. And then on August 6th, submission 2, behind the scenes vlog. And then August 13th is the final submission with the final video and the budget template. And then August 16th will be community voting. And then August 21st will be the live award ceremony. So if you guys want to take a picture or a screenshot of this, go ahead. But you can always ask your intern. You can always check the website. You can always email us at contest@ciogc.org. You want to go to the next slide or just wait a little bit? Actually, go back.
Yeah, once again, sorry, 1 second.
We're at the right place, I think.
Okay.
There's one more helpful hints. Can you just go to that really quick?
Uh,
Go back one, I think.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, if another thing really quick is if you don't have a social media presence, email us or tell your intern. But if you do, I am behind all of that. So if I'm tagging you, if we're having a conversation on Instagram, that's me. And feel free to hashtag all your posts, all in CIOGC, and all your posts, social justice challenge or social justice service challenge. Okay, you can continue now.
Yeah, our hashtag is all in CIGC. So we're gonna open it up to questions. I don't know if there's anything in the chat that were questions. So we want to make sure that we wrap up in the next 5 minutes, but or you know we can, because we want to just finish up with around, like, we're hoping by 8:30 at the most we should be finished with that if there's questions.
I
So,
have a question.
sure.
Is it supposed to be limited to Illinois or Chicago, or it can be international project?
We like it limited to Chicago because CIGC is an organization that serves the Chicagoland, Illinois Muslim community. So, and we're based in Chicago, so yeah. So not necessarily international.
But does it hurt if it is international?
It won't. It won't.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. This is Fatima from ICW Islamic Center of Wheaton. Okay, quick. First, I had a confusion when I was on the website. So when we had the first meeting and all that, when I went to the website, it was like July 9th was like the registration deadline, July 16th, planning the meeting photo. And then July 23rd, that's when we had to submit the behind the scene vlog. And July 30th was like, we were supposed to get the word out. And August 6th was like the official video and the budget submission.
Mm-hmm.
But then right now, when we had this, this slide, I was confused. Like it was a total different date, and then even for the photo submission, it was a different thing. Like do 3 facts. So I'm just a little confused on that.
Okay, so let me backtrack a little. We did have last year, everyone jumped on the challenge. This year with Eid and other events coming up, people were saying that they were registered and they asked for more time. So we decided to push it back. And we went ahead and did that based on our community feedback. Like the organizations that wanted to participate said, hey, you know, can this get freed up after Eid? So that's why we pushed everything. Like the timeline's been pushed back by like a week and a half, maybe 2. But if you've already submitted like the photos and stuff like that, that's great. We can use that. You know, we are not going to make you redo anything. We are not going to. So, you know what, this is where your intern comes in. You can say, hey, intern, I put in photos, you know, help me get some facts in, and we can create something for you. So you are not going to be penalized, and we apologize for that confusion, but it's really like what we thought was this is, as we were working through the challenge and working to get people on board with the challenge, this is some of the feedback that they had given us. So we're trying to adapt that as much as possible within the time frame that we have.
Oh, okay, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Yeah, okay, we're good. Thank you, Jazakallah.
Thanks. Okay, anyone else?
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sabina. This is Rohani Nayan from Chicago Muslim Green Team. And Jazakumullah khair for this wonderful opportunity, especially for a small organization like ours, which is only 2 years old, very young and very small. And I would just like to recommend that maybe like in the future, maybe next year, the challenge can be open to all our Islamic organization without having to partner with the masjid, which was a big challenge for us, but alhamdulillah, we found one that would work with us. But maybe in the future, it can be open to Islamic organizations.
Yes, Rohani, we are grateful to you for working and participating with us. Yes, we've opened it up to all Muslim organizations. We tried it this year. That was, again, some of the feedback that we got, because the nonprofit organizations were jumping, whereas the masjids given the bandwidth, we understand it's all volunteer run organization and stuff like that. So they were a little slow to hop on the train, but they're doing a fantastic job. We love one of the projects that have been submitted. But again, so we will make it clear next time that now this challenge is not just for the masjid. Last year it was just for the masjid. This year it's for non-Islamic or all Islamic organizations and nonprofits. As long as you're addressing a social injustice, we're going to be cool with that.
Thank you. I just want to give shout out to Sana Rashid for being a wonderful, wonderful contact for CMGT. Thank you. Jazakumullah khair.
Great. Thank you. Is there anyone else that we could answer any more questions for? If
some people had questions in the chat. I've been like responding to as many people as I can, but
go ahead.
Anyone else have?
We can work through them. If you want to switch back, I know I saw one that said, "Can you show us a submission one again slide?" So if you want to move back,
I'll submit. Okay.
And then we can go to and see, take a look at that one. Yeah, so submission one, this is just showing you what the infographic will look like. This is what we're going to share. So on our social media, we will be sharing this, and also in our emails that goes out to the general community, we will be sharing, hey, look at this fact, and the Chicago Muslim Green Team is addressing this. Not that they're working with climate change, but this organization is working with food insecurity, whether it's Makkah Center, they're addressing food insecurity, and this is like the facts. And so that's how it will show up on our social media. We'll let everybody know that this is coming from Makkah Center, and this is why they're addressing this social injustice, because these are what the numbers. It just correlates. It correlates for people when they see, hey, this is a real problem, this is a real thing, and this is something we need to be addressing. And again, it's by this Friday, and it's very simple. Don't make it complicated. We are here to help you. The interns are here to help you. We will just send us 3 facts with sites, like with resources that say, hey, these are what we done, and just so we can, and the interns can help you put it together. If you don't have the time, make sure you, it's related to your project, so it makes sense. Because these are all things that we'll look at when we talk about timeliness and stuff like that with the submissions, when we go ahead and choose a winner at the end.
Okay. And just adding to that also, if you just send your intern 3 facts, maybe set up a Zoom call with them, they can help you through anything. So it's really, really easy. And then also, if you're an Instagram user or a Facebook user, just be looking out for a lot of fun, interactive, like submissions to come.
That this challenge with CIOGC, we would love you to share what your masjid is doing and repost and reshare when we post about your masjid, but also other masjids too. I think it's great for us to be sort of supportive of all other masjids and this challenge, and just keep it like a great competition, because everyone's going to be winning in this, and especially inshallah our community, our greater Chicagoland community. So we would definitely, I think we have somebody from the Herald that's shown some interest in following the challenge. So I don't know if they'll write anything up about it or not, but they might be able to, the more interest they see that's coming through, and they're following us on CIGC. So the more you post and repost us, that's going to help them, figure out whether or not they decide to write about this challenge or not. So yes, your interns, I cannot stress enough how much your interns will come in handy. Think of it as basically your free associate secretary person to help you through this challenge. They will really walk you through it. They're great people with a lot of great skill set. And if they can't help you, they'll find somebody to help you. They're really good at this, but they're not going to do your project for you, but they will definitely help facilitate anything you need. And any questions you have, they will help clarify. If this is there anything else that anyone else wants to add? I think
if anyone else wants me to show another slide, anyone?
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
This is Sultan from Masjid Al Ihsan. So I'm looking at submission number 1, and I'm listening to how you're stressing about the interns and their assistants. So, I mean, does submission 1 has to be in writing?
No, it can be an infographic, it can be a PDF, it could be a presentation, it could be a Word document, it could be however you want us to showcase you. So what we
Okay, so I'm saying like, okay, so I got it, because my citation or could be a professional. You know,
yeah, like a professor, like a published resource. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like right, or like a therapist, for example. I may be dealing with some mental issues and some crisis issues, and so I can use the professional in terms of citation, but I can run that by Sufyan.
Yes, you can run that by Sufyan. He will be able to help you with that. And then what you could do is just say, hey, and we would like that therapist name. If you're quoting somebody, you could, as long as we have their name and we can say from this, like licensed therapist and their name, that's fine. No problem.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
I mean, we're excited to have you on board. I know you weren't here with us last year, so I'm super excited you're here. Well, you were here last year. Sorry, you were.
I mean, I was. I mean, the program, you know, tweaked it a little bit.
Yeah.
From last year, because that was the first one.
Yes.
And so this is the, you know, second one. So I'm sure it would only get better.
It will, and it's an easy rodeo. You've done it once, and inshallah, we just hope that we hope continued success. We just want to make sure that it's something that we're continuing to do. It was not like a spark for the moment, or like just, you know, the flavor of the month kind of thing. This is something that CIGC is committed to work towards social justice. And we're also very grateful. I think there's another board member here, Brother Charles Muhammad, who's running our anti-racism task force. Brother Charles, if you don't mind, if you don't mind, and if it's okay, turn on your camera and say hi to us. He's been doing a lot of great work with the community, with like racism, and how to, for us to be better allies and work towards more diversity and inclusion. Are you there, Brother Charles? If you're there, just say hi to us. I know he's this thing. So, but he's also here, and he's been doing a lot of great work for us. So definitely. So
yes, Assalamu alaikum. I'm so happy to see everyone joining in this evening. It's been one of those days for me, but I'm happy to kick off this big challenge and looking forward to the competition.
Thank you. So follow us on CIGC. We have emails. We are pretty much on every platform where we have a WhatsApp group, we have emails, we have social media presence, Instagram, Facebook, I think some presence on Twitter. So we are doing a lot of great work at CIGC. I'm actually proud. I wouldn't be a part of this organization if I wasn't proud of the work that it's doing. We just want to make sure that we showcase some of the efforts that we're doing, not only us, but our masjids. So, okay.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Always CIGC does great things. And last year, we also joined the Social Justice Project. And now we are entering this project competition as well. Yeah, I would like to thank from the deep of my heart to CIGC and all the efforts and all the interns actually that CIGC interns give effort. So this is great. Thank you and have a great night.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited for everyone. So thank you again. And I already know my favorite projects. I think most of you that are attending today, your projects seem phenomenal. So again, we're so excited and thank you for doing this, and whatever help we can help, whatever way we can help you, please let us know, and we're all available. Sana, Aboud, Sufyan, Simone, and Qasim, fantastic group of people. They will really walk you through it, and I'm also available if you need me for anything, for any answers or any questions.